this video is going to be a little messy. So the way that I originally wanted to do this was to just do it like the studio diaries, I just kind of string together clips filmed throughout the day, very little editing, and that move was just not going to work because being mostly focused on playing the show, I didn't get nearly enough footage to string together a coherent narrative, just big chunks of time missing, not really a lot of, the standard vlog asides to tell the audience what's going on and, like, what the context is for anything they're looking at. So instead, I decided to go back and just sort of retroactively tell the story of what happened on the day, and we're just going to include the footage that I shot then for color. So speaking of footage for color, here's what I had for breakfast that day.
Early lunch / technically breakfast, chicken fillet roll, just taco sauce and butter and chicken, because I would normally put some lettuce on it, but I ran out of lettuce earlier this week. Got a banana, because, gotta get some, nice and healthy fruits and vegetables sort of thing. Got my Dr. Pepper, because not too healthy. But yeah, this is the fuel for the gig today, although I will probably get food before we actually play, because it's like I have to get there at like 4:30 for sound check, and then we don't actually play until like after 8, so probably dinner will be in between and there'll be a shot of that, but this is starting the day.
Should be mentioned that I wake up pretty late at the best of times, which that was very much a best of times scenario. So I'm filming that at like 10 o'clock, which is why it's breakfast / lunch.
Gearing up, got my backpack with pretty much all Magic the Gathering stuff in here, because I'm going to go do that before I head off to the show, unless, of course, there's not anybody there to play today, in which case I guess I'll just head off early, because it is a pretty long ride to get up to Drogheda. Insert the show flyer right here. Where did I put my earplugs? There we go. Earplugs. Bass guitar, I got my cable tuner. I don't know why I'm feeling on that, like you can see any of it with your X-ray screen vision. So this goes on my back, and then backpack goes over it. It's kind of a rough solution.
At the time, I was planning to go down to the place where I usually play Magic the Gathering, Dunleary's The War Chest, for their weekly Commander, and I would go play there for a couple hours, and then I would get back on the train and go straight to Drogheda, so that's why I was taking everything with me in one trip.
Gotta ride my bike to the train station. Of course, this plastic is blown off. Thankfully, it has not rained while the plastic was off, because, wet bike seat, not fun time.
Of course, I hadn't checked the forecast that day because it was supposed to be sunny.
In classic Irish fashion, it started raining the moment that I went outside, so I have to stop for 5 seconds to get my raincoat on before I continue biking to the station, because it's only 10 minutes, but that's going to be a really long time to get rained on.
So I put on my raincoat and my rain pants. Of course, by the time that I'm done doing that, the rain has actually started to clear up a bit, also in classic Irish fashion. But I end up riding down to the station all geared up anyway. Lock my bike up there.
Train pulls in.
And from there, it is a trip that I've taken many times. So, here's the footage of that.
The unfortunate thing is that even though it's raining outside, it is still 70 degrees, so I was sweating like a fucking pig in that raincoat. Thankfully, it looks like the skies are clear, so, hopefully not gonna have to put it back on when I get to the next station. I am betrayed constantly by my optimism. Not a cloud in the sky, yet it is in fact raining somehow. Well, I guess there are clouds. They don't look like they'd be particularly unfriendly now, would they?
Ultimately, it was a pretty mild drizzle, so it wasn't really worth stopping to put my raincoat back on. I've got it in my backpack, I'd have to pull it all the way out. I walked over to the war chest and was pretty much dry by the end of it.
One subtle underlying problem with all of this is that I use my phone to film this because I don't have a camera, because I'm not Y2K cool like that. I don't know, I'll see about getting a camcorder someday so I can actually film and use my phone separately. But because of that, I can't actually demonstrate to you all on video what I'm listening to, so we're gonna go ahead and put in just like a quick supercut of all the music that I listened to today. End result of today's gaming, 1-1 record. Fine enough, but now I have to go back because I forgot to bring my tripod for the camera, which I'm going to need. And also I only have the one pick in my wallet, because even though I have a big pile of guitar picks, I didn't think to bring them with me, but that's why we're going back, because I can get stuff like that now. Guess I didn't really need to load up for like I was gonna be gone the whole day, but things happen sometimes.
Yes, that was a fellow playing the traditional Irish tin whistle on the train, sort of a next level to the classic annoying guy move of playing your music out loud on public transport, but he was pretty good, so it wasn't that obnoxious. Anyway, I get home, I drop off some of the magic stuff because I don't need it now, grab the things that I'm missing, figure out what exact route I'm going to take to get there, and I head to the local Lewis station in order to make the series of connections I will need to make to get to Connolly train station.
Dublin Pride Parade is today, which has fucked all the public transport right up, which, good for the gays, good for Ireland. It is, all jokes aside, genuinely nice that there are places committed to that stuff in this day and age. But it would have been really nice if they could have been committed to it tomorrow.
Traffic getting there was completely fucked because of the parades. They had closed off several roads, so the Lewis didn't run all the way to Dublin city centre like it normally does. So I had to take, I think it was 2 different buses to actually get there once I took the train as far as I could get it. But even if I could have taken the train all the way there, I probably wouldn't have wanted to.
Nothing good in life comes easy. Now that I'm off that very crowded Lewis, the move is that I have to get on a bus that's like a couple streets over. I don't want to make it sound like I'm just shitting on the public transport system here, because obviously in the US this would just be bluntly impossible. But again, these are the sacrifices you make, not owning your own vehicle. But hey, given all the things that happened the last time I was in a car, I don't mind all that much. When I'm in a car, when I'm in a car, when I'm in a car, when I'm in a car. This bus will get us to Connolly Station, at which point that'll be our last waypoint before Drogheda.
Traffic ended up being so fucked, I was genuinely afraid I was gonna miss that train. That bus was crawling through the streets. There was a point where it would have been faster to get out and walk, but at that point I was already too committed. But I did end up making it to the train station in reasonably good time.
Connolly train station. 10 minutes to go. In spite of my struggles with punctuality, it would seem that I am the first one here. That's kind of what you should strive for in life. You may not always be perfectly on time, but if you can be the least late, that's still laudable. Maybe, I don't know.
Originally, I had been thinking that I would just travel alone and would meet up with the rest of the band when I actually got to Drogheda. But as it ended up working out, we were all gathering at the station at the same time, and we ended up taking the same train to get there.
Oh, what up? Here we go.
Buddy, how we doing?
Doing good. I'm trying to vlog this gig, so
Pretty nice. This is
cameras
on your
up.
YouTube channel.
My YouTube channel. If we set up the See the Horses YouTube channel, I almost said See Your Horses, which is like way worse. If we get that set up, maybe this will be on that. I don't know. The audience at home will know by the time they're seeing this. Yep. All right. Smile, jerks. You're on candid camera.
The platform's here?
Oh, it said platform 3.
Fair enough.
Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, that's why that one was 15:55.
Funny thing is, Hugo that night was drumming for the very first band playing Milk Rain as well, and they were actually there at that train station. I saw like 2 of their members on that platform that we were initially standing on, so I guess they took that train that was leaving slightly later to get there. But it was weird, like I was the only one who saw them and I didn't know who they were.
5 minutes out, we're heading on the train. I was gonna do a gig vlog, so
We're seeing horses.
we don't have to be annoying about it. We can just do the shit live raw.
Now that the whole band is in the vlog after nearly 12 minutes, I'll introduce that this was our last show with our then 4-piece lineup. Aaron, the guy in the melancholy shirt, would be leaving after this to focus on his many other bands, chiefly Orchid Feeder, Logo Here. So this trip up into Drogheda would end up being our last time hanging out with him as part of the band. He dipped out pretty quickly after our set. The trip up was characterized by our usual banter.
Not sponsored by Monster Energy, but we could be. Hit us up. Scenic B-roll for our travel montage, because this train is like an hour, so, you know, we're gonna probably have a cut or two.
We need to play Mullet Fest.
I don't even really know what Mullet Fest is, but I do agree that we should play that. It just sounds funny.
Dude, we should.
I accidentally gave us
There
a
needs to be
promo.
like a counter-based fest. I don't know why they're at like shit from a shit from a butt festival isn't like a real thing. Cause that could be, bro.
Dude, you talk so loud. Like, you just be talking in public.
Dude, shut up.
Dude, don't you know you're in
Dude,
public?
shut your
right now?
fucking mouth.
Right, how's that look?
This is the total substance of what See the Horses is about.
Fancy one at 8:40. You actually really liked it, yeah. That's why I was like, hey, you should come up to our gig.
I got the.
All right.
This is Keir Kelly, a friend of ours who was hopping on this gig as emergency sound man and is now one of our 2 guitar players. He rode on the same train with us, but he ended up at the back of it while we were at the very front, so we didn't meet up until we were at the station.
Last member of the team. Sick.
I was vlogging.
Yes, we are vlogging.
All right, let's go.
As you can tell, I'm a master of cinematography. So, now that we're all gathered, we make our way down to the Watchtower.
The walk into Drogheda towards wherever we're going.
Everyone, yeah. Actually, how about you take it from Ethan?
Oh,
Go from Ethan.
shit.
Exactly.
I was
Go on, hop in there.
taking video. You can
Well, we got the video anyways.
The moment we saw this pirate, we knew we had to take a picture with it. And because Cooper is our possibly mad, possibly genius promotional guy, these ridiculous photos paired with what I can only describe as spoken word amazing digital circus shipping thick country music became our promotional story for Instagram that night. I immediately reposted it to my story without realizing that Cooper had added that music until it was too late. So if you remember hearing that on my Instagram story and thinking, wow, what the fuck is this? That was pretty much what I felt too.
I'm sorry, I just need to capture this for posterity. Can you confirm that you did indeed just say Jumpin' Jivin' Record Spot? I'll take your word for it. Oh shit, there it is!
Disappointingly, we did not find time to actually go down to the Jumpin' Jivin' Record Spot to see if it lived up to its reputation. Never even got its name, actually. We just went right into the Watchtower, which is sort of a loft above a pub. You know, it's like there's a pub on the ground floor and then there's like an entertainment space upstairs. we went up there and got straight to setting up. Alright, that's an angle from which you can see the stage and a bit of the audience too. Yeah, something like right about, I don't know, oh yeah, that would work too. Well, would you look at that? Don't know that I like standing on this stool to get it down.
We should do a front row seat.
Alright, now that we're here in the Watchtower, we're in pretty good company. I mean, we're just gonna move over all of these way too fast for anyone to read them, but that's what the pause button is for. And we've got ourselves a wall of set lists. I imagine we'll be asked to contribute to this at the end of the night, including covering a hole in the wall. Hardcore dancers, we all know.
This was like first gig I ever played with my first original band in Risu.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
First ever place.
Alright, that's cool. Got some history.
Yeah, there's so many cool posters up here.
Oh shit, and then I just flip over. Eugene Robinson from Oxbow. Dope.
Yeah.
Alright. Rigging is in progress. Okay, so not captured on camera was the moment where I kicked over a glass of water because someone decided to sit a glass of water on the floor right in front of the stage area. I immediately went to recover, and this was the only thing I had nearby that was absorbent, so if I look a bit damp during the set footage, that's going to be why. I was incorrect about this. Hugo, our drummer, did in fact capture this on camera, so here's that footage. It was ultimately fine. My shirt ended up drying out completely by the time we actually started playing.
Like as clean as you can get it.
I insert this clip because the presence of a clean channel on this amp is going to matter later. So anyway, we finish our sound check, we head outside for some fresh air, and it's there that we meet a friend of the band and eventually the first other act to arrive, Galway death metalers Graveworms. With sound check complete, our thoughts now turn towards dinner. Meanwhile, Cooper inquires to figure out where exactly Flesh Guild, who are supposed to be here, are. Pop up an image of the flyer, in case it wasn't clear to anyone watching that they are supposed to be here. I was considering the possibility of running down outside the front of the Watchtower, seeing exactly what all the gigs that we're sort of playing alongside, you know, the other folks here. But then I saw this, the Summer Slam Punk gig, and I was just so utterly mesmerized by it that I instantly forgot, you know, there was no other point now. Just look at this image. Fucking look at it.
Good lord, I hate your fucking friend. Holy shit. You should have never picked you up on that offer. You should have never taken you off.
Fucking hell.
I can see why they said.
Elsie, stand back.
I'm gonna go back in.
Alright.
You wanna come with me, Hugo?
Sure, yeah. Cooper, you're like giving some shit. No.
Smile, jerks! You're on candid camera!
I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing that.
Already reusing jokes. What's up? 6:25. Graveworm sound checking. Still no sign of Flesh Guild. There are 35 minutes until the show begins. I think the members of Milk Rain got here at around this point, but we don't seem to have footage of them actually showing up, so they're just kind of there at some point. It was, I think, around when they showed up that we broke for dinner. Going to the Funky Fish before the show because we like to live dangerously. Funky Fish. Behold what €8.50 gets you. Funky Fish. I identified the Funky Fish as the place to go immediately on our way in, and I think pretty much everyone else in the band were kind of sketched out by it, you know, being this, like, kind of cheapy little no-name place. along the riverside, so ultimately only Hugo and I from See the Horses ended up eating there. Now, I personally have a real affinity for these sorts of places. They're kind of like American Chinese food, where the speed and the prices are very fast food, but you tend to get better quality and more food for the price because unlike fast food, they're not coasting on being big brands with lots of recognition that everybody knows. So ultimately, it was pretty good. Like, that burger was absolutely minuscule, but they gave you enough fries to make up for it, and I got that whole meal, drink included, for less than $10 US. I dare you to find me any fast food place in the US that's got deals like that right now. Sound check.
Kind of sounds like they're playing Silverstein downstairs, which is maybe a good sign given that we're playing that. I mean, I don't think it's the same song. I don't even know if it is a Silverstein song, but it kind of sounds like Silverstein. You get what I'm talking about.
The Silverstein cover ends up going probably most wrong of all the songs we played that night, but that's a story for later on in this video. So, Flyer says doors are at 7, so at around 7 o'clock we have people starting to show up.
Oh, the camera angle holding this with my left hand is really fucked. Yeah. I am on doors until our person who is supposed to be doing doors shows up, which is kind of a theme of tonight, is people who are supposed to be here are not here. We are now 15 minutes after doors. Flesh Guild have not arrived yet.
Our doors guy who eventually showed up, Isaac, is actually now our second vocalist in See the Horses. We're up to 6 people, with the 7th on the way if Cooper gets the violist he's always wanted. Anyway, about 10 minutes or so after he shows up, Flesh Guild finally make it, and they do have some time to sound check before the show starts properly at 8.
Flesh Guild have finally arrived, so on one hand, good for them, but on the other hand, as the band who are last and latest, they will now be subject to endless ridicule for our collective amusement. We love them, though.
It's true, they're a really great band. One of their guitarists, Seva, is our other guitarist in See the Horses now, and he's a really good player. You'll see that lineup in the next vlog, because we will have another vlog soon. Despite every other band showing up pretty late, we actually were doing pretty good on time, and Milk Rain ended up playing at pretty much exactly 8. That's a thing that I've noticed post-COVID. The whole punk time thing doesn't really seem to be a thing anymore. A lot of aspects of gig etiquette have kind of deteriorated, but shows pretty much keep to their posted timetables now. Which, you know, I'm all for. Milk Rain's a pretty good, I guess, up-tempo indie rock band. They were labeled as surf rock on the flyer, but Hugo later told me that that was basically just because they had one song with a surf beat and they weren't sure what else to call themselves. Speaking of Hugo, he played pretty good during their set for, you know, joining them like a couple weeks before. I think they had a drummer before him that he was filling in for. I think he's still playing with them now. I'm not 100% on those details, but yeah, he was pulling double duty that night.
Hugo, ready to play another set immediately after this one?
Yes, I am. Woo!
See the Horses was on second, and we were having our first real show. We did not properly coordinate this intro at all. We had argued over it at our previous practice what exactly we were going to do, and while we knew that Aaron was going to lead it off, we weren't exactly on the same page about what he was going to play during that part. Both Aaron and Cooper were a bit under the influence, and I, being anxious and very neurodivergent, Sounded like I was too.
We're gonna get a little improvisational for ya. I don't know why I'm talking like this.
We played really fast during our set because of nerves, although it actually ended up sounding pretty good. Aaron's amp ended up getting switched on to the dirty channel, and despite like 2 minutes and 3 different people working on it, we could not get the distortion turned back off. And the covers were pretty loose. But despite all the rough patches, it was still better than the gig that we played at IADT, and the crowd seemed to be pretty into it. Very classic punk gig shit.
Alright, in conclusion, we played it. It was crazy fucking fast. I don't know, anyone seeing this, probably the recording of the show will be up too, but it was pretty intense.
I held off on publishing the footage after the show because I ended up placing the camera on this unplugged radiator that was sitting right near the stage that just happened to be at exactly ass height of anyone who stood in front of it, which another friend of the band named Dita proceeded to do for roughly the last 2 songs. So, you know, I didn't want to put that on YouTube for everyone to see. But on the other hand, she does seem aware that the camera is there later in the video and is not concerned by it.
Hey guys, horses.
And it was an accident, so we'll probably go ahead and unprivate that soon. I considered blurring it in YouTube Studio for her sake, but that just kind of made it look even worse than it was.
Sun Tzu-style proverb of the show, the man with the clip-on tuner will have many allies, which is a fun-coded way of saying basically every band tonight has had to borrow my tuner at some point.
Then it was Flesh Guild up next, and they pretty much made up for all of our looseness. Great proggy metalcore, kinda convergy, mixed with those sort of like winding atonal riffs from like later period Black Flag. Some like sludgy parts. There was like one really like full-on southern stonery part in their set. They're really good, and the crowd went wild for them. This guy up against the wall of setlist here is actually one of 2 guys who came from California to see this show. I mean, they didn't come for this show. I think the other guy was telling us afterwards that it was like their girlfriends were wanting to see the Smiths who were playing here, so they were like visiting Ireland for a week, and it just so happened that they saw our flyer. Thanks Cooper with his talent for graphic design and the sick World Ends With You design that we used for this flyer, because it managed to get 2 guys from the opposite side of the country that Cooper and I come from, many, many, many hundreds of miles away from Ireland, to come out and see this show. It's wild that this happened. Like, I still can't get over this. Graveworms closed out the night, which is kind of weird that the band from Galway were the ones playing last on this show, because Galway is on the opposite coast of Ireland. It's like a 5 or 6 hour train ride. I don't know how the hell they got home after this show. The crowd was starting to thin out by the time it got around to them, but everyone who was there was moving for them. They were pretty good, like very Stockholm style, like fast death metal with a sort of pronounced crust punky edge. Good stuff. I liked it. after the show is over, I go over to the sort of like patio area where other people are hanging out. It's like a smoking area where it's mostly enclosed in the building, but there's like enough of a sort of gap where there's not really a roof that, it's sort of legally outside enough that people are allowed to smoke there. And I'm just kind of hanging out there with people as we're figuring out where we're going to go after this.
I didn't capture the most intense game of Jenga that's ever occurred, but rest assured it happened just off camera and it was amazing.
But then I get called in because people need help dividing up the money from the gig.
Intense competitive accounting sessions because we ended up with 310 on the take and we have to split that 4 ways, which don't split 4 ways cleanly with $10 bills.
This ended up being a huge shit show. We had only 10 and 20 euro notes to work with, and the amount each band needed to receive was $77.50. So, a lot of issues with the change there. We're like going to the bar to get change, and then it closes halfway through before we've actually properly figured out how much change we need to give everybody. Like half the bands have left by that point, so we're already unsure what we're going to do about actually getting people their shares. We keep losing track of the money and having to recount stuff. That happens like 3 or 4 times over the course of like a 20-minute session of total frenzied panic. And ultimately, only Flesh Guild actually went home with their share. The rest of the money I just scooped into a plastic bag and was like, fuck it, we'll work this out and I'll revolute everybody their shares later. Which, over the coming days, we did do. Although Aaron from See the Horses actually never got his. I still need to get, because I was trying to wrangle everybody's like Revolut addresses together, and he didn't respond to that, so I still need to get him like 1934. Anyway, we work out what we're going to do after that. As far as getting home, it's like too late to actually take any kind of transport back to Dublin from Drogheda, so we're going to be staying at Cooper's girlfriend Key's place. There was supposed to be a bus that would take us, but it inexplicably came like a half hour, or maybe it was even a whole hour earlier than it was supposed to be. So we couldn't take that. So we ultimately ended up having to get an Uber back to like her apartment where we were going to stay the night. So we said goodbye to the people at the venue.
You're on candid camera.
Oh, yeah.
And we finally make our way out of the Watchtower in the dead of night.
There's this big chunk of a castle, like, here's the Watchtower on the corner, and here is the castle chunk. There's just not really anything, I don't know. It's a gate.
That was Key there, schooling me about medieval architecture because I don't know shit. I don't even know if that wall is actually medieval. I'm probably making a joke about how ignorant I am while continuing to be even more ignorant. But it's not important. This is not a history channel. So anyway, at that point, the group consists of myself, Cooper and Key, Hugo, Isaac and his girlfriend, whose name I unfortunately don't remember because that was the one time I've ever met her and it was like a month ago. But anyway, so there's like six of us all together. And we end up, we get this Uber, so we go back to Key's apartment where we hang out. We discuss the possibility of getting, like, food afterwards, like pizza or something. But, there's, like, very few things still open at that point. I think we discussed, like, Domino's has, like, batshit insane hours where they're open until, like, 4 in the morning or something. But we ultimately decide against that because I guess it's just kind of too much work and none of us are super hungry after all of that athletic workout, the show and everything. So we just kind of hang around, watch some episodes of Peep Show on Netflix. I didn't get any footage of any of this because I'm not very good at this whole vlogging thing, as you may have surmised by now. So I hope you're all enjoying this picture of Key's cat, whose name I have also forgotten because it was a month ago. So Key, if you're watching this video, please comment down below what the cat's name is, and I will pin that for future reference for the audience because I'm sure they all want to know the kitty's name. So anyway, we go to sleep. I end up being the unlucky guy who is sleeping on the floor. Put in a picture of that because I look extra pathetic because there was no like extra blankets or anything for me, so I ended up sleeping underneath my raincoat that I had brought with me because it was the only kind of providing warmth that I had, because I did not think to wear like my flannel or anything, so I just had a t-shirt on. It was pretty rough, and also the cat liked to step on me while I was laying on the floor, so I did not have a very restful time. I got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep, if that. It was pretty rough, but I woke up the next morning feeling fairly fresh. Hugo and we ended up walking down to the like nearby bus stop where we ride back into Dublin city center. It was like this tourist bus that was like an hour plus to get down there. But we go there until we're in the city center, where he splits off because Hugo lives kind of more like to the west of like the Temple Bar area, whereas I live a bit sort of south of it in Milltown. So I go on the Lewis from there, ride my way back to Milltown, and it's like the afternoon of the next day that I finally get back home. So, really good thing that I didn't end up like leaving my bike locked up at the train station overnight. That would be kind of asking somebody to like cut the lock and steal it. But anyway, that is pretty much the thrilling story of the first ever proper See the Horses gig. We are going to continue to do more of these vlogs. You'll see the new lineup of the band next time at our gig on August 4th at Watchtower. Probably pronouncing that wrong because it's Irish and I don't speak the language, but you'll see that, and with any luck, I will film it a lot better than this one, and it will be more of a normal vlog-style video instead of this epic length. We're coming up on like a full episode of Breaking Bad minus commercials in terms of length on this one. Hopefully that next one will be put together a lot better than this. Anyway, this has been The Mysterious Creep, signing off.
Hey, what's up, horses? It's me, frontman of See the Horses, Cooper Champion Young, full legal name. Basically, right now, I could fuck a McChicken. Alright, end the video.